Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. And today we're excited with another amazing topic of conversation. Thank you to our sponsors, the Health Channel by South Florida BBS and Ready Check Go program by Thermal Fiber. So today I'm honored to have Sergeant Mike Mellindes on our show. So welcome.
Thank you, Gladys. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Please tell me a little bit about your background before I start drilling you with a lot of questions.
Not a problem, ma'am. I'm Sgt Mike Mellindes with the Aventura Police Department. I've been a police officer now. We're going on 12 years. I started my career in the city of Hollandale Beach, just north of us in Broward. And after about 3 years there, I made the decision to come to Aventura. I wanted to have more opportunities, and Aventura is a very wonderful city that has a lot of growth and has a lot of great people that run the city and a lot of great opportunities for not just in law enforcement, but for life too, which we'll get into. As time went on, I started my career here and I've had a wonderful career, been involved in a multitude of different assignments from FTO to SWAT to crime suppression to an instructor. And I've been a supervisor now for almost 3.5 years, 4 years. And my passion lies always in helping people. I grew up coaching football and playing football my entire life, and just kind of carried forward with me. And now that I'm a supervisor and how kind of things just fall into your lap and you kind of figure things out, the stars align, I decided to do more with my badge than just coming to work every day and putting in my time.
So you have been called by the Aventura Chief of Police a success story. And that's the reason that I wanted to invite you to tell the story for everyone, because I guess that you and I are aligned in mentoring. I mentor girls, you're mentoring boys, and you're trying to build a community through sports. So tell me how it all began.
Well, when Chief Pegues got promoted, he brought some of us in to just talk to them one-on-one and ask them what the vision of the department is and what they like and what they would like to do with their career, just to get a better feel of everybody. And we spoke, and I already saw the way society was going, the way the law enforcement was being treated, the way the change of reforming the police was going, and how the cry for equality and for justice was being really, really pushed forward. And I knew that there would be a day that happened a few years later where we would be so divided, where it really hurt because people lose friends, people lose family just because they just see the world differently. But I told Chief, I said, I have a way to bring that together. I have a way to solve that problem. And it's sports. I said, you could be anywhere in this world or country or bar, anywhere, any place in the state. And if you like the same football team as the guy sitting next to you, no matter what race, background, or religion he is, you guys will automatically be friends. And it's the magic behind sports, I think, that's always kind of made people feel that they belong to something bigger, or it's their release from society, release from the normal routine, and it brings people together. And I said, I have an idea. I said, I want to speak and mentor high school football players. And I have a connection at St. Thomas Aquinas High School. And I like to go there and speak to the kids about a variety of different things, including leadership and life, and help build that bridge between the community. And he gave me his blessing. And I spoke for the first time in November of 2018. And it was a very emotional and great speech. Believe it or not, I actually always kind of like public speaking. Weird, a lot of people are very scared of it, but I always enjoyed it. And I just feel that, like, I always was a coach. I always was a football coach, so kind of speaking in public was natural to me. But I took that opportunity, and this was a few months after my brother had passed away. He died in a car accident in March of 2018. My ex-wife had left me 3 weeks later. So there was a lot of grief in my life. There was a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, but a lot of appreciation for God and for the gifts that I had in front of me. And I wanted to use that as an opportunity to help others, use my pain to help others, use my experiences to help lift people up. And I spoke that day on November 18th, and it changed my life. And I built rapport with those kids instantly and the coaching staff. And, after I was done, I spoke with our coach Harriet of St. Thomas, and he goes, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Coach, let them see me at practices and games in uniform, but cheering them on and helping them out and lifting them up and pushing them to be better and offering a friendship, offering communication to stay in touch with them, to be there for them, to support them, to answer questions for them, like another big brother, like a mentor." And I think that's where it starts. And, I've always said this, and I'm a firm believer by it. There's all different types of thoughts on this, but communication to me is the key to everything. And I think the people we communicate most in our life are the people we trust and respect the most. But how do you start that? How do you build a relationship? You start by talking to somebody. From there, you try to build respect. From respect builds trust. And from trust, you can then work to solve problems. It's a process that takes time with no matter who it is, in business and life and team sports. But that's the only way to fix the problems that we have in society. And it's a long road, but it's the only road. And I think that's something that everybody needs to have more patience with and more tolerance with. But most importantly, empathy. Have more empathy and tolerance for the people around you and understand that everybody has problems. We all do not live perfect lives. We are not perfect people. But if we take the time to get to know each other and respect and communicate with each other, we will respect each other. And I think that's the long road that I'm ultimately trying to build with this mentorship program that I've started, but the city and the department are jumping on board, which I'm so honored and thankful for, because we're going to have an opportunity to do a lot of things that nobody else is doing in Aventura, and not even Aventura, in the country. Very few people I know that I communicate with or have seen are doing something to help others bigger than just working their normal job as a police officer. And, something I care deeply about.
And the program is not in Aventura. You're expanding
No,
outside the
no,
border. So
no, ma'am. No,
I just wanted to
no.
clarify that you're
No,
going out.
the greatest part about Aventura, and ma'am, you're a commissioner, is we are a metropolitan. We're like a giant city in a small area. It's really funny. We're very unique. We have 7 to 8 temples in our city. We have the second biggest mall in the country, multitude of businesses. We have one of the nicest resorts and hotels in the city. We're growing so much though, and it's a wonderful thing. But we get people from all over the city, all over the Tri-County area, all over the country, all over the world that come here to Aventura. So yes, we have our own citizens to take care of and to mentor and educate, which we do a phenomenal job with. We have, bar none, probably one of the best community policing units down here. We have a great culture. We have a great open relationships with our rabbis, with our community leaders, with our business leaders. So we handle problems internally and build everybody up phenomenally. But outside here, that's the thing, is what are we doing outside of our community? Because at the end of the day, it's not just about us, it's about everybody, and helping everybody out. And Aventura has a responsibility for that, in my opinion, because of everything we attract. So let's do more for everybody else, because we have that ability to make a difference in other people's lives. And, St. Thomas is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's about 6 to 8 exits north on 95, but, it's a great school. It's one of the top football programs in the country and top schools. And it offers a lot of great opportunities for kids who come from very unfortunate circumstances to put God in their life, structure, discipline, and a sport that can give them an opportunity to go to college and make a difference in their life. And it goes along the same lines as what we do, here in Aventura with my mentorship program, and also with what you're doing too, is we're trying to help those who are less fortunate and don't have the same opportunities that we did, because we're blessed. We really, really are. And I think that's what the right thing to do is, to give back. And, there's a lot of other schools that I want to speak to and coaches I want to meet, because I think that if we all get on the same page, it can help get everybody involved. And I don't want to this is not about me. It's about the kids. It is about everybody down here. I think that if we all come together as business owners, leaders, police officers, football teams, and we can come up with a way to build that dialogue and communication, I think we can in the long run, we'll make a positive change.
No, I'm sure that we're going to make a positive change. For example, the girls in my program that Loving Me More are from Miami Gardens. So it's like you said, and the word that resonates more and identifies more with everything that we do is respect. Because it doesn't matter what your background is, what you believe in, or what I believe, or what the other person believes in. is about respecting what we all believe in. Yes, you may see the wall white and I see it black, but if I respect that your wall is white and you respect that my wall is black, so what?
That's it. And at the end of the day, is it really that important? It's not. It's just
No,
respecting somebody. That's
correct,
nobody's the same. You have to respect the way they feel. You don't have to like it, but you respect it, and we move forward.
correct.
And
And that's
and
it.
honestly builds a great relationship and a good friendship because having everybody around you who always thinks the same, you don't grow in life. You don't see things differently. It doesn't offer a different perspective. And it's important because that shows empathy.
Correct. So I wanted to ask you something. You started coaching, you started going to the kids' training in uniform,
Mhm.
right?
I did.
So what happened? Because there was a change, like with the pandemic, and now it's before, after, and moving forward. It was before George Floyd. So what happened after? Was it,
Ah,
how did you speak to the kids? What was the reaction, you being in uniform and with everything that was happening in the country?
it's been a great challenge. I think that also too, my perspective and the way I viewed things at the time wasn't all the way open. There was so much going on with COVID. I had COVID for 2 months. I was really sick. So it was tough to me to talk to people. We had the pandemic, we had the rioting, the civil unrest. So it just created a lot of issues for us at work and then also too with these kids. And I think there was a little bit of a disconnect. I do speak to most of them on social media, and that's the way I connect with them. We have group chats that we stay in contact with, and I'll throw things in there from time to time, quotes or positive messages or explain things to them a little bit more. But ultimately, I don't really like putting too much of that into text because you can't get the full context of it. I think text messaging, excuse me, has its pluses and minuses. But for when you're trying to explain a situation to a group of people who are very sensitive about it, and rightfully so, I think the best way to do that is in person. That way you can really feel the room and you can really clear any misunderstandings or context behind your words because you can't get the full scope of anything on a text message. You really can't. So there's a new speech I wrote. It's called Always Forward. And I haven't delivered it yet, but I'm waiting to speak to Coach Harriet. And I want to speak to them about this year. And honestly, it goes back to 2 years ago when we won the state championship in Daytona to December. Now we're going into 2020 and the pandemic hit. So I saw the kids when they got the rings and they celebrated. We had like a parade or drive through. We couldn't do it traditionally because of COVID. We had to have social distancing. But a lot's happened since then. I think that there's a lot to say. And I think the time that's gone on has really helped me really fine tune what I want to say to these kids and also open up the floor to them to ask questions. But I think a lot needs to be said because I think everybody's gone through a lot the past 2 years. I think everybody has. And I think that we've learned a lot about ourselves, about people, about society, about what we thought was important and what's not. And a lot of people have died. A lot of these kids, they've lost friends to violence. They've lost friends to suicide and depression. I think that that's one of the biggest things that plagues this younger generation is depression and trauma. These kids go through, some of them come from very, very bad circumstances or have seen a lot of things that are traumatic, and they don't have the resources to help them out. That anger, the violent behavior, the misbehavior, a lot of that is as a result of trauma. That's a result of not getting the help they need and not having anybody who can really help them out. And I think that's something that needs to be said. And I know a lot more about that now. So in part of my speech is going to be talking about that. And I think that I'll get a lot of eyes to open up and be like, wow, he understands what I'm thinking, because they do go through this. Some of them have confided in me in certain things, and it's sad. But you know what, though? I'm doing my part to not give up on these kids. And what's crazy is all I'm doing is using my phone. I talk to them. I go see them. Sometimes I'll just pick them up or we'll talk or I'll show up at practice and we'll chat afterwards. And that goes so far. I mean, I'm not doing anything more than just being a good person. That's it. That's it. And that's all you need to be.
Giving them a hand.
And that's all they want.
That's all they need right now. Because I heard this weekend, actually, I heard a term that was very disturbing. We are all in a collective trauma.
Mhm.
So the country and the world, because it's a global trauma, no matter how we look at it, the pandemic affected each one in a very different way. Either it was financially, emotionally, sickness, death, but in one way or another, it was you were affected by it. So not only the normal circumstances of what these kids are growing into, but on top of it, put a pandemic. So that's the part that just giving them a hand is so,
Absolutely.
so important.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to ask you, you created a program to help some of the kids fund their career in football. Can you tell us a little bit more? Because hopefully somebody out there listening to us may be able to help.
Absolutely. So, um, from and just until this year, college athletes could not get paid or use their name or their status to make money.
College
With
or
the and
NFL?
college, just in college sports.
What happens with
So
high school? Nothing to do.
high school is different. I
Nothing.
mean, if kids
Okay.
want to sell shirts or whatever, but that's not going to matter because at the end of the day, like these kids are still trying to like build their image. They're still trying to build their skill set to be marketable that one day they could hopefully make it to the NFL or to the NBA, mainly the NFL, what I do with high school football kids. So in college now, a lot of the kids that I've coached have graduated and are in college, and some of them, they're in the top schools, football programs in the country. Alabama, Georgia, Florida, LSU, they're doing a lot of big things.
So,
And some of them are really big stars. And some of them are going to go play in the NFL someday, and opportunities have been presented to them this year to where they can now NIL, name, image, like. That's the name of it, NIL. So they can use their name, image, and like to make money. The
but
thing
let
is,
me clarify this because a lot of people don't know that when they play football in college, they were not allowed to get paid for a sponsorship or anything. Only when they went through the NFL, they were allowed to be paid, correct? Okay, just to
so
clarify that.
no, absolutely. That's a big misunderstanding. But for years, if you watch certain documentaries like Billy Corbin's 30 for 30, the U, it'll explain more like how a lot of these kids were, they're just getting $100 a month to live off food, and the school's making millions and millions of dollars, and they're like, well, our team is making this money. How come we don't get paid? It's always been a catch-22 because, in all honesty, paying these kids in college, giving them a certain amount of money is dangerous because they'll get complacent. They'll think they're owed more. A lot of them don't have the maturity to kind of deal with that and understand the value of getting that type of money and how to really invest it. So they'll just do what normal kids would do. They'll spend it. They'll maybe goof off, and they won't stay as focused as they need to be. So the opportunity is out there now to make money, and some kids have gotten sponsored really, really well. It's kind of backfired for some companies because some kids haven't performed to that level that they expected, and some are hurt and they're out for the year now. They got an injury, so now you gave a kid $200,000 and now he's not playing for the rest of the year. Well, where's your marketing going for that? So, in essence, what the NIL pretty much created was an opportunity for these kids to make money. So a lot of them are opening their own shirts, their own companies with clothes, their own apparel. However, understand the school sets the standard for that. The school is not going to let a kid make more money than they are. They're not going to let them fully, jump out of the wall. There's a lot of rules to this, a lot of rules. And ultimately, it's so the kids can make some money, but the certain sponsorships that you'd expect, like the big names, very far and few between, because in the end of the day, there's no guarantee that these kids are going to make it to the NFL because less than 1% of all college football players make it to the NFL. 1%. That's a very small number. So only certain kids are going to get certain deals.
So what happens with the kids that do not?
They don't. They may not get a sponsor. They just carry forward with the money they get from financial aid or the money they get from their scholarship money, and they do whatever they've been doing for the last 100 years. They make it work,
So what happens with education? Why don't they move forward and getting an education?
They do. Some of them do
Help
it.
them
Most of
get
them.
a career.
Well, most of them that don't go to the NFL leave early because in college football, you have to do 3 years, and then you're eligible to go to the draft. So a lot of kids will go to the draft. They'll join the NFL draft, leave their junior year, and then they'll go back and get the degree afterwards. Some kids don't make it to the NFL. They get their bachelor's degree, they finish playing football, and then they have to figure it out like a normal person. they get a job. They have to go get a job. They have to decide what they
Okay.
want to do. And, maybe they try to go play in Canada, or they try to play in an arena bowl or a semi-pro, and maybe keep working and chasing their dream. But, now there's no more funding. There's no more money. You have to still work on the side or sacrifice a lot to hopefully get signed by a team just so you can, make some money.
So the way that you're also helping them is by getting them some money through, last them through college and train so that they will be eligible for a draft.
What I'm searching for right now is people or companies or businesses, mainly businesses and companies, who are willing to take a kid who I've vetted, get a chance for them to meet them, because obviously you're not just going to give money to somebody you don't know, and an opportunity maybe to sponsor them. I'm not asking for a lot of money. For some of these kids, like $500 a month goes a long way for them. Some of them are big names where you sign this kid now, you see the potential in him, he gets drafted, he's a very big superstar. Well, now he markets for your company, and everybody's going to see who your company is because they follow him. So it's one hand washes the other. However, it's tough to find businesses that really want to invest in these kids because, at the end of the day, there's no guarantee they're going to make it. There's no guarantee they're going to not get in trouble, unfortunately, or they might get hurt or injured. So you're investing in something that you don't know if you're going to get a full return on. So I understand the caution that a lot of companies have. However, there are a lot of kids who have high promise and are great of character and could use this encouragement, could use the sponsorship to help them out, but also too, to network. The biggest thing I'm trying to teach these kids is, yes, we might get a sponsorship to come in from somewhere in the city or a business that's good, and help these kids out. And then ultimately teaching these kids to network, to be thankful that this person is doing it, to build a relationship with them and talk to them and get to know them. That way other doors open up down the road, because you have to talk to everybody and treat everybody with respect and humility, because you don't know who's going to be your boss one day, and you don't know who knows who. And that's something that a lot of these kids aren't familiar with, because they don't grow up in a real positive environment where there's successful business people who grow and know other people that can help them out.
But the other part is not only the $500 can come from a company, but they also can come from an individual that really wants to help a kid make a future.
They can, yeah.
So it's
Yeah, they
like
can.
not only based on if he gets drafted or not, but they can help them make a future for themselves.
They can help show them a way and use their company name, to say, hey, I'm going to sponsor this kid. It could be a real estate company. It could be a small business in the city, whatever it is, that says,
Or
hey,
an
I'm going
individual.
to sponsor this kid out, an individual, to also say, hey, I have this business. This is what I do. I want to help sponsor this kid out and help them, show them how to be financially responsible, show them how to build something, like I wouldn't just give these kids money. I would have it with a clause where
Correct.
we're going to set you up. I'm going to give you this money, but we're going to set a savings account up, or we're going to invest in this. And I'm going to mentor you and show you how to make that money, make more money for you. And we're going to open up a nonprofit for you. We're going to show you how to start building your entrepreneurial opportunity. And that's the biggest thing that I want out of all this. And honestly, I cannot do this on my own. I'm going to need the people in the city, the businesses, former politicians. I'm going to need people who are involved in a lot of stuff to help out, because you know something about life that I don't and have experience in, to run a successful business where we can bring these kids in and have business owners in the city come and speak to them about how to start a business, what they did, how to be successful, because I want this to be about everybody. It's not about me. It's about everybody coming together with these kids and showing them that there's more opportunity. And that's going to take everybody.
I get it. But one thing is that I've learned, and based on a lot of experience on helping, especially girls, is that if you give them a fish, they will eat for one day. But if
Teach
you
them how to
teach
fish
them how to fish, they would eat their whole
forever.
lives.
Agreed.
So the money that you're asking, I wouldn't give them, like, write the money out.
No,
I would
I
do a
wouldn't either.
match. Like, okay, you work for something, I will match what you bring in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the
100%
kind of
agree.
program
100% agree.
that we're trying to do. So I'll talk to you so your boys can come in and team up with what we're trying to do on the financial
Yeah.
side, because that is exactly what we're doing with the girls. We're teaching them financial responsibility so they can become independent and successful. And teach them, because there's like the success stories that a kid gets drafted, they give him Well, now maybe I don't know how much the price is, but 100, 200,000, and they don't realize that the lawyer charges for something. Then the agent charges another percentage. Then I don't know who else gets another percentage. So really what's coming to them, it's I think a quarter or a third of what he's actually paid.
Correct.
And some of these kids spend that money before they even realize that.
100%.
So that's like
100% agree.
another type of education that these kids need.
Absolutely agree 100%. It's just more than just giving them money or helping them out with that. It's trying to really professionalize them and show them how to be fishermen, show them how to take care of themselves and their family and build something up that lasts forever, that they can go back now and help other people out. And then the long road, you have a better community with more financially responsible people who know how to help others and do it the right way. And that's what the whole message is about, the long-term goal.
So first of all, I want to thank you because I know you're a new dad
Yes.
and you're sleep deprived like all new dads and moms.
Yes.
So thank you so much. I know that we could continue talking about this forever,
Mhm.
but we're out of time.
No problem.
So really, it was a pleasure. And if anybody wants to help, please contact us. I will tag you so that if anybody wants to reach you, they will be able to. You want to tell them a phone number or an email before we leave?
Absolutely. Best thing is to get in contact with me, I would say would be Instagram. My name is Coach COACH underscore Unite UNITE underscore us US.
Coach underscore unite
Unite underscore
us.
us. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So thank you so much. And everybody out there, thank you until next week. And above all, stay safe.
Thank you.
Have a
You too.
great day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.